another average team that has, in my opinion, a better potential because they at least have a rising star on their team.
They have two.
And that's the Memphis Grizzlies. What's your take on the Memphis Grizzlies on making it to the playoffs? Because they're only the 8th seed. And they have a lot more competition. And their chances of winning a championship this season.
Well, speaking of Cinderella, I think the Grizzlies are the actual Cinderella story of the season before it actually ended. Mm-hmm. Right now, they stand 32-33. When if you ask most NBA analysts, Andrade, I'm gonna ask you as well since you're an analyst, according to our community.
What's up?
Look,
let me tap into my insiders. All right.
Yeah, he has Woj on speed dial, but a lot of people did not have faith on the Grizzlies. They thought the Grizzlies were gonna be one of the worst teams, not only in the Western Conference, but in the NBA.
That's
overall. And the conversation that was gonna go on was how high is gonna be the pick that they owe to the Boston Celtics regarding the Grizzlies, because the Grizzlies, if I'm not mistaken, they do owe the Celtics their first round pick. Regarding certain conditions, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not exactly sure on the conditions, but but that was like the topic regarding that. As Andrade was saying, they do got a fairly promising young core. They got the deserving Rookie of the Year. That he better win the Rookie of the Year. God damn it, he deserves it. It's gonna be Ja Morant.
He does deserve it.
They also got some nice young pieces in Jaren Jackson Jr. And they also acquired a fairly good young piece in the trade deadline as well by the name of Justice Winslow, which I think would be very important for them to see. Who? Oh, my bad. Miami, they would call him Point Winslow back when he played in Miami. Fairly young guy. I think he's going to be very important, not only for this season, but for the long-term growth. Good thing is, with the layoff that we have with the NBA, Winslow, he had a back injury, and from sources it seems like he's gonna come back healthy in time for the NBA bubble. We gotta see how Winslow is gonna perform. From what I know, he could do a little bit of everything. He could initiate your offense, be a sort of a playmaker, and throughout the years he's gotten a lot better on his shooting. So based on to see how much Ja can perform, how Jaren Jackson can perform, and how much Justin Winslow can perform, who knows? Maybe the Grizzlies can give whoever they get in the first round a good fight if they get into the playoffs. Playoff percentage, I give them a 55% chance of making the playoffs. The reason why I say this is more out of respect for the Blazers and the Pelicans. They're knocking on the door.
Especially the Blazers.
To win a championship, I give them a 5% chance. Andrade, what do you think?
All right. I'll get the championship out of the way first. I agree. I'll probably give them a 5% chance. I will give them a 5% chance of winning the chip. Mm-hmm. Now, making the playoffs, they have a 3.5 game cushion. So that's pretty high considering that they're only playing 8 games.
Yep.
But the same 2 teams plus a third one for me that you got to consider is Blazers, Spurs, and Pelicans. That's how I would rank them in terms of being able to take that 8th seed away from Memphis.
Spurs fans are gonna roast me for
forgetting. Because Pop, I'm telling you, and that record. But not even that. Yeah. It's just the Grizzlies have a great young core to build on. But that's the thing. It's a young core, no playoff experience. Ja Morant is a rookie. Brandon Clarke is a rookie. Everyone else is still, I believe, even Winslow is under 25, right?
Yeah.
So, when it's a young team like that, and I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is also below 25, right? No?
I believe so. Either he's 25, at the most he's 25.
Okay. So it's like when you have a team like that, who's not just young, but doesn't have a lot of playoff experience or little to no playoff experience, especially considering they all went through a pandemic, I don't know if they'll come back as prepared. Mind you, they have a good coach, and I like their coach, but still, it's a whole lot of experience and wisdom, and age is going to come into. It's going to be a beneficial factor coming back from a pandemic and a hiatus. You know what I mean? And on top of that, who was I going? Oh, I mean, the benefit is that because they're all young, maybe they come in like rubber bands and they're just like on fire, energetic, ready to like prove themselves. You know what I mean?
But don't you think Ja, to bounce off what you're
I
saying,
mean, he's as athletic and energetic as it gets.
don't you think Ja, is kind of paying attention to what's going on? Hey, look, Zion's getting all the hype. Yo, you forgetting about me? Then
That's
he's
a good
come
point.
back and be
That's
like,
a good point.
this is why I'm the rookie of the year, and arguably, maybe he's gonna go out to prove. Maybe this is the reason why I think I'm the best player that came out in that draft, and that's Zion.
Maybe. Actually, that's a good point. And on top of that, it's to solidify the case that he is rookie of the year, because he's likely gonna get it, especially because the amount of time he's played compared to Zion. But he could also come with that chip on his shoulder that like, yo, I can't believe you guys are even considering Zion as rookie of the year when he's only played like 19 games or something. And yeah, but I don't know. I think I wouldn't be surprised too if the Grizzlies come in with this mindset, including Morant, of like, look, we're gonna do this to get some experience, go for the playoffs, and if we don't make it, whatever, it's not the worst. It was a strange season, and then Morant comes in ready for the long term. Because I think the Grizzlies organization and Ja himself, their point of view right now is big picture, and like, look, we have a potential superstar, not just a potential star, but a potential superstar. Because he plays like a young Wade. Like, he's athletic, he's a creative guard. He's just like, he has this vision, and he can improvise really well. Like, especially for a young player, a lot of young players cannot improvise as quick as he does when he's in the zone, which is like, that's also why I think of young Wade. You know what I mean? So give him like 2 years, 3 years. I look forward to him developing. But yeah, so I think because they're thinking so big picture, I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of like take this return as like, let's just take some experience under our belt, but we're not gonna risk injury or whatever just to go for a championship that we know we're not gonna win. You know what I mean? And then for making it to the playoffs, I actually give them 50% chance of making it, because I think there's just as much chance that they won't make it, even with a 3.5 cushion, because Pop is Pop. Pelicans have Zion, and they have young players, but some with a low experience. And Blazers Blazers have it all, in my opinion. They have the talent. They have
no chemistry,
veteran players that aren't too old. They have stars. They have 2 stars, and then they have a real overall depth core team that has it all. They're the most well balanced team in the lower tier of the Western Conference right now. So yeah,